So for my day-to-day job, I visit somewhere around 20 properties a day, and I'm seeing that the information that the town or city has is accurate. So that involves all types of things, as in the type of property, whether it's residential or commercial. That includes the type of structure, whether that residential property is a 1-story ranch, 1.5-story Cape Cod, or 2-story Colonial, and I'm checking a lot of more specific data, like the type of roof, whether it's an asphalt roof, a metal roof, a slate roof. I'm checking siding, what type of siding, clapboard, vinyl, aluminum, lack of siding. Checking windows, whether it has original wood windows depending on the age of the house, aluminum windows, has vinyl windows, whether there's any broken windows. So when I first show up to a property, as a first thing, I'm trying to, from the very start, come off as I'm trying to emulate the least amount of aggression as possible. So this includes when I show up to a property, if there's a driveway, I'm looking at how big is the driveway, how many cars are in the driveway, is it possible for me to pull into the driveway without blocking any vehicles in, and if I do have to block vehicles in, how can I block the least amount of vehicles in as possible. So for my job, I drive my personal vehicle every day. I have magnet signs that stick to the side of my vehicle. I put those on, and those are on the whole day I'm working. I also wear a yellow vest that says assessor's office. And I also wear a name tag to identify myself. And so once I decide where I'm gonna park, and once I park, the first thing I do is I go to the nearest door, or what appears to be the main door that the people living in the house use. Once I get to the door, I look and see if there's a doorbell, and I knock or ring the bell. Sometimes, even if I ring a bell and if I can't hear the bell from where I'm standing, I'll sometimes also knock. The knock I do is, in my opinion, it's a very friendly knock. It lets you know, it's not someone kicking in your door. Also, if you just do that, someone may think, a branch fell on the roof, or a branch fell on the porch, or, squirrel is throwing nuts on the deck, so I like to do a long, extended. Should someone answer the door, I work in a bunch of towns. I don't work in any cities. I work in all towns. So I usually start off, I'm here with the town assessor's office. There's sometimes several different reasons why I'm there. Most common, I'm here with the town assessor's office. We're working on cyclical review. What it entails is checking outside measurements of every building, and if possible, a tour of the inside of the house. At that point, I leave a space for them to answer. Actually, also sometimes after I say that I'm with the town assessor's office, I'll actually sometimes ask, are you the homeowner? So anyway, they'll answer, tell me whether it's okay for me to come in and take a tour of the inside of the house. If they say no to that, I ask, do you happen to have a minute to answer a couple questions about the property here at the door? Majority of the time, if people don't let me in, they will take a minute to answer questions. And again, I'm asking them questions like kind of the stuff I'm looking for. So I'm asking, do you know when the house was originally built? Have there been any major renovations? Do you happen to know the age of the roof? Age of the siding? Age of the windows? Do you know the age of the heating system? And then I'm moving on to how many bedrooms are in the house, bathrooms. Is there any central air in the house? Air conditioning? Confirming, say, if the card for the house has that there's basement, I'm confirming there is basement, correct? If they say yes, is any of the basement finished? However, if they let me in the house, if they ask, do you have to see the entire house? I usually come back with as much of the house as possible. I'm leaving it in the homeowner's hands as to how much of the house they want to show me, because legally, as the homeowner, or at the very least in the state that I live in, I'm pretty positive it's the same across the whole United States, but I can't speak to other states. But I know for the state that I live in, you as the homeowner do not have to let the assessor in the house, and you do not even have to let them stay on the property. In fact, a great tool to ensure that the assessor doesn't, if you don't want them on your property, a great way to ensure that they don't go onto your property when you're not there is no trespassing signs. The state that I live in and the company that I work for, how we handle properties that are posted, we will momentarily bypass the sign, try to get to a door, knock. If someone answers, we explain why we're there, and then it goes, normal, either yeah, we can come in, or yeah, we can measure, or no, please get off the property. But if no one answers and there's no trespassing sign, then we must vacate the property, leave the property as soon as possible. So normally, if the person lets me in, once I've taken the tour of the whole inside, asked them all the questions, I'll then go outside and I'll check the outside measurements of the house. Again, in my state, on the cards, the property record cards, we have a sketch of the building, and the sketch, it's like if you were to be in a helicopter directly above the house. It's basically the outline of the building, and it's also broken out into, it's not broken down by room. That actually, in the state I'm in, it's illegal to have it broken down by room, or have the sketch labeled, have the rooms labeled on the sketch. Because if we labeled the rooms on the sketch, then a thief could just go to town hall, get a copy of whatever house he wants to break into, and go, oh, okay, so that window leads to a bathroom. All right, so I can break into that window, and people may not notice. So yeah, it's actually illegal in my state to put down the exact room layouts of the house on the sketch. But the sketch will be broken out. If half the house is 2 stories and half the house is just 1 story, it'll be broken out. The sketch will be broken out where it's 2 stories, where it's 1 story, where it's 1.5 stories, where there's basement, where there isn't basement. So I'll go around and see that the measurements that we have are accurate, whether that garage is indeed 24 by 24, and see if that porch is 8 feet by 24 feet. And then also checking outbuildings, so detached garage, sheds, docks, decks, checking all that stuff. Depending on the municipality, town or city, depends on what kind of outbuildings are picked up. Some towns I go in, something like a shed has to be 64 feet or bigger to be put on the card or picked up. And then also the same kind of with pools. Some municipalities don't pick up above ground pools. Others pick up above ground pools 18 feet radius or greater. After I've managed to verify that all the information we have is correct, or corrected any incorrect items, then I finish that card, put it aside, and move on to the next house. For the majority of the year, I'm doing cycles. So I'm doing the full thing for this house, this house, this house, this house. And then also in around April, we try to visit all properties that had permits pulled, and also properties that still have ongoing permits from the previous year. And in those cases, when I show up to a property, I would, again, when I knock on the door, if someone answers, I tell them, here with the town assessor's office, we're checking up on building permits. Has the work been done? If it's not done, where is it at? Where in the process is it at? And then also with permits, we're visiting new construction, brand new houses. And brand new construction, everything that we visit, we're valuing as of the beginning of the financial year, April 1st. So if there's a brand new house being built and say come April 1st, there's only a foundation, that's all the property owner is being taxed on for that calendar year. If, say, the foundation is in and it's framed, but there's no electric, no plumbing, no siding, no roof, that's what we're valuing. If, as of April 1st, there's a roof on it, and say the exterior, so siding, windows, that stuff is all done, but on the inside it's just a shell, that's for the entire year, you're being valued on that. It doesn't matter if in the month of April, the contractor and everyone else busts their butt and gets the thing done by April 30th. Doesn't matter. You got to use the house to its full usage for the full year. We still just valued the property as what it was April 1st. In my day-to-day, the job has some nice things about it and also has some not so nice things about it. One nice thing is I'm just from week to week, I'm told I'm going to be in these towns this week, going to be working on these projects, and I just go there, show up to the town, grab my work, head out into the field, do the work, return the work at the end of the day, and just keep going. So that's nice, is there's a feeling of freedom. I'm not just stuck in an office all day, every day, day after day. I work in 6 different towns currently, so it's nice. It's not just constantly the same drive to work every day. It's for a month I'll be driving to this town, and then after that I'm driving to this town for a month, and then after that I'm driving to that town for a month. That is also a little bit of a downside because first town is using this system, the second town is using this different computer system, third town is using a third system, and then say the first town, they pick up all above ground pools. The second town, above ground pool has to be greater than 18-foot radius. Third town, they don't pick up above ground pools whatsoever. So that is semi-annoying. Having to constantly go, how does this town do things? Oh yeah, they do it like this. Oh wait, no, they do it like that. There's a lot of different codes for the computer systems that I have to remember. Some of the towns that I work in say a wood deck. Some systems, it's just WD. Other systems, it's WDK. Other systems, DK. Other downsides about this job is, for instance, today, right now, it's 89 degrees out, and I'm actually heading home now. I was outside all day today in 90 degrees, just going door to door to door. And then I live in New England, so in the winter, it's the exact opposite. It's 2 feet of snow and 3 degrees Fahrenheit, 89 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 degrees Fahrenheit out with 2 feet of snow, and I had to trudge through the snow to people's front door and trudge around their house and try to check measurements. I also end up dealing with, say, a lot of dogs. Sometimes friendly dogs, sometimes aggressive dogs, along with the no trespassing sign. Also fences. My company, if say the whole backyard is fenced and it's gated and it's a closed fence, it's not just partly fenced and then you can just walk around it, it's a full fence. My company, we do not walk through fences if there's no one home, because there's the potential that there's a dog that belongs to that house who has permanent access to that yard. So if I show up to a house with a fence and there's no one home, depending on the type of fence, if I can see what's in the backyard, I have to estimate, if there's a deck off the back of the house but it's fenced off, I have to estimate the size of the deck. Or if there's a pool, I have to estimate the size of the pool if the town picks up that type of pool. Also deal with all types of taxpayers. Some very friendly, some not so friendly. I've run into overly friendly taxpayers who just the moment I walk up to the door, before I even introduce myself, they're like, come on in. I'm like, you don't know me from a hole in the wall, and I don't know you from a hole in the road. Let's stop a second, do introductions, then maybe I'll come in, because again, this taxpayer doesn't know if I am indeed who I say I am, and I don't know who the taxpayer is. For all I know, it could be Buffalo Bill, who has a hole in his basement with my name on it, and a bucket with some soap in it. As I stated before, you have the right to tell the assessor to not set foot on your property, but keep in mind, we are human beings. The person who shows up to your door, they do have control a little bit over what your house ends up being valued at. If you never let an assessor in your house and the outside looks really good or really upkept, they're probably going to assume the inside matches, when we do actually know that there are some people, there's been plenty of houses where on the outside the house looks fantastic, and then the homeowner lets me in the house and I'm like, oh, the inside of the house is still 1960s, but the outside looks like 2000. And also once in a while the opposite of that. Sometimes that outside of the house looks like nothing has ever been done to this house, and then get into the house and it's like, oh wow, they just redid the entire interior of the house within the last 10 years. That's what I deal with on the average workday. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, share the video with friends and family, and be nice to your assessor.